all the way from Warragall down there in a dairy park. He's just about ready to go. They got a green flag. Oh, bloody hell, that's fairly heavy there today. Trying to get her off. Go to her a fair bit of stick. That's fairly heavy. Well, there you go. Didn't get much further than those there. The first pull for the day, Peter Weller from Warragall. You're coming out next. Dirt Flirt's a local tractor, Stu Hill's a local cocky. We got a 350 Chevy out the front, a Roan Ranger in the middle, and we got a Spicer rear end out of a tank. Stewie used to race super modified. He decided to come back to limited modified because the job was getting pretty crazy. Lots of horsepower, lots of money involved, and a 350 Chevy was his favourite motor. We got a green light on the sled. We'll just see how we go. Shady Creek Shaker did his motor on that pull. I don't know whether we'll see him back again. Whoops, a daisy's due. Here we go. Fairly hot there, Stewie. He's blown a bit of oil out the rocker cover, which seems to be getting on the manifolds. He's still in one piece though, which is the main thing. I tell you what, that sled's fairly heavy for this pull, but then again, being the special cam built into the jigger. Got a 3010 back end and a 3010 depth. By his family. Rowdy's been tractor pulling right since she began, the old canny cruncher. She's had a number of heart transplants over the years, but she's still got the Twin City, the U-model Twin City back end in it. That U-model Twin City back end, it'd be 30-year-old, maybe 40. You got a 350 Chevy in her all as well. Hello, what's happened, Rowdy? She's died in the rear. That's a bit of a shame. She's just gone clunk. I was just saying how well that back end was going too. I think there's nothing wrong with the back end, but there's something wrong with the front end. She sort of lost some power. Maybe safety switch came out. We got a safety plug there. Unfortunately, once you go more than 10 metres from the start, it's a pull. Rowdy can't get his power on the ground. No, she just went out. Pretty heavy on the front axle, that fella. He's not getting it onto the back axle at all. Nevertheless, you'll find in the 3.2 that you'll be able to get some weights into that back of that tractor. She's a little bit heavy on the front. He's just plenty of power there to spin the rubber. enough to get to 75, but not good enough for 90. A bit of ignition breakdown or something there. Engine fairly hot. The bit of a disadvantage with a nice hot engine like that. The engine ran a lot better on the first pull. But the extra little bit of temperature and a little bit of ignition trouble by the sound of it. He's pulled her up now. Looks like the other boys might be going to have another pull. So far we got Rumpus out in front there with a pull of 90.1. Right, his rival, he's got his engine going. Won't be long before he gets the green light. That's it, about 48 metres or thereabouts. Certainly not right down there. Once upon a time I thought this was the way to build a tractor too, but now I can see the idea is to get the engine right out over the front axle and lengthen the drawbar until that weight transfers. You can see Peter had plenty of wheel speed, but not much weight transfer. Drive all over the track. I'm not sure whether it was deliberate or not that time. He usually gets the distance, that's for sure. Well down the track. About 70 metres. I don't know whether you notice the way those drag slicks grow. The tyres on the back are worn out drag slicks fitted with grips, and they developed about twice their normal height. That tractor really stood up just after he left the start mark. Find a bit of dirt, Coxie. You'll see the way the rear axle on the sled is now just sitting back on the ground. It came right up off the ground. So he had very close to 2/3 the weight in the sled. On Wiki's Whacker. In gear this time, John? Here we go. He's got the knot. It makes a big difference with the sled in gear. About 60 metres, not quite. Transfusions the next.
tumble into second place. Not quite as good as Coxie, but not far away. That's a genuine pull. Feel better now, Mervyn? You see the wheels on the back of the sled still turning, so he's got at least 2/3 of the weight and working on the last third. Transfusion. As I said, last time out, with a little bit of work, a little bit of tuning, this tractor ran really well. He has the green flag. Sometimes takes some getting away from the line. This Carby smoked a little. He's getting himself all psyched up. Bang, into gear, cough, splutter, another cough, another splutter, but he's going. From the driver would do it, he would be right out the other end. A lot of effort on the steering, pushing against the back of the seat, and that throttle was bent right down to the floor as hard as it can go. Quite a reasonable pull, up around the 65, 66 metre mark. And get the tyres on and down to weight. Listen to it revving. It sounds like a busy little bee, as I said. Ah, here's Jobbo. A top ball for Kelvin Jobling, over 75 metres. Put your hands together for him. You might have noticed that the torque bearing in the belt and some of the other ones earlier on, they just lift that front left-hand wheel clean off the ground. They just twist the whole chassis and lift it off the ground. They just try to turn the tractor. Another 350 Gee, that's a good pull. He's been one of the also-rans up until now, but look at that, he's gone beyond 75 metres. That puts him into second place, I'd say. It's very close between him and Outlaw. Just a reminder that the vintage pulls out of the loading ramp. Right, here's Agro, just firing up. It wasn't one of his better performances, but you'll notice he changed gear in the transmission. I think that might have done it for him. All right, here goes Buster. Too much fuel. Back to the drawing board. If you get it right one day, there's enough good equipment in this tractor to make it go right through to the far end, but as yet it hasn't really had a good go. Russell Harrison's the driver of Buster. He's from Pyramid Hill. From Poowong, Cow Power, Dairy Man. It's going to go reasonably well today. About 47, 48 metres. He's got plenty of wheel speed there and not a lot of grip. Yes, they're... I think their tyres off one of those little backhoes, little ditch witch. This is the tractor that's got ditch witch tyres. Not really good pulling tyres, are they? And a Morris diff. He has a Morris diff in the back of this, out of one of those 1-ton Morris trucks from about 1947 vintage. I think it's a power glide transmission. Right, Defiance. A lot of wheel speed. Today, it's definitely not Don's day today. He normally gets fairly well down the track. Defiance has been one of the better performing tractors. Not today. Couldn't get the grip. Either that or he left the brakes on. You're still running that face Robinson. Man, Max. Get her a heat, Max. Get her a heat. Well, after a build-up like that, he treats it like a Sunday afternoon drive. Just sneaks down the track. Little Willie. Little Willie's little pull. About 42 metres, or thereabouts. Just treats it like a Sunday afternoon drive, you know, bring the tractor out here, tune it up, hook it onto the sled, have a look down the track, give it a few revs and sneak down the track. The Australian Tractor Pull Association's going through. There's only one way to drive a Mini. That's flatten it off the start. Just plant that floor there and leave her go. Aim straight down the track. I don't think it's any good trying to. I don't think he did as well as what he did in the first pull. First up, he had 47.85. He won't be far away from it this time.
Lyle Wickham's one of these fellas that just must have too much money, I reckon. He's definitely loves his machinery. He's built this little jigger up, this first tractor puller, or first track puller that we've seen here in Australia. And we're looking for a little bit more competition for him. He's up the sled pretty light, that's for sure. The old track's fairly heavy. I'll be re-weighting the sled or re-organising the gearing on that. Tom's been out there, as we said, with a wooden spoon. He's trying to, we got the option on that pull, but certainly I'm sure the blokes will reorganise the gearing on that. Green flag, green light coming up, and away he goes. Quaker's got to get out there and beat that. And of course, Quaker's running in the 3.3 super modified, whilst we've got the sled organised. He's not in the open class because he's under 1,000 kilos. Cameron's driving the 3.3. We got that Franklin rear axle in there. Colin Cameron in the red hat. All set to go. One more swipe of the track perhaps. Or they're happy with the track. Okay. Ready to go. Here comes Con Callum. He's just starting off on this job. One of his first drives. Had this tractor now for 7 or 8 months. Okay, chock-a-block, go Johnny Clark. Got a pretty low gear there. Not really. Well, lucky if he got a low gear, he would have get enough for his speed, but still, a power 454 someone. Got him out into a respectable sort of a position. It's a bit of a stir out here. There we go with Plum Crazy. So there we go, under that. We got a red flag, we'll soon have a green flag coming up. We're going to push the program along, people, so we're not going to keep you here all night. We got some 850 minis and we got 2 more super modified classes to run. 2 more open classes to run. From Lameroo in South Australia. Peter unfortunately is in hospital, badly injured, did an accident on the farm. The tractor will be driven today by Robin Gericke, friend of his from Narracourt, long-time associate of the Australian Tractor Pull Association and immediate past president. Robin's a pretty fearless operator, ran plumb crazy in his early days, ran double trouble. Managed to take damn near all the trophies and prize money home for a long time. Has been retired for about a year, and it's good to see Robin back in the saddle. Everywhere. Craig are coming out. This is a howler, this one. He's a real good little operator. He'll pull in the last of this. Muncher down here shortly. Plenty of dirt down his neck. Nevertheless, good to shake the old head a couple of times and take it a little easy on the throttle. Got plenty of side speed there, but they just killing him. Yeah, they've had a fuel problem. I believe that they've discovered the fault. They've been right through it. They're putting it all back together and washing it up, and hopefully they'll be in time for this event. But if not, we're sure to see them later in the program. It'll be very disappointing for Robin if he comes all this way from Narracourt and doesn't get the tractor mobile.